I'm gonna take a moment to rant about the current state of break or unbreak, as the case may often be. We'll use as an example the most recent Meruru Rerun's EX2, since that's what we're mostly fighting today. The trash mobs have 1.1k break and the boss has 2.5k. Right. I threw a bunch of the popular ST breakers at it with relevant gear. They get through maybe half the bar at best. Not sure what the intent is. Maybe things shouldn't break that easily, but I'm not devoting a character and 2 turns to crack one ad. The future of the breaker role is a bit uncertain, though ones with debuffs, force break, or other effects retain their value a bit better. So with that as our backdrop, let's check out our new breaker cat. The new Izana's main gimmick revolves around crit break, or break from critical hits. Her skill 2 does a ginormous plus 200% break on critical hits. This is additive with other effects, but it's a considerable amount. For perspective, you're getting around 50% max from base gear effects, 120% from maxed traits, and usually 29 to 52% from Memoria. So the crit bonus is comparable to a full set of maxed gear put together. And this, to me, is an indication that they're willing to budge a bit in terms of adding stronger but conditional break effects. Doesn't seem to be quite enough yet, but it's progress maybe. To enable the crit gimmick, Izana has another 2 components in her kit, the first being a self-buff from her skill 1 that guarantees a crit on her next hit. The second is a passive that grants her a 1-hit auto-crit buff when she starts her turn on any panel, blue, red, or otherwise. TLDR, when her skill 2 crits from using her skill 1 first or from just standing on a panel, it gets buffed for the equivalent of a full set of gear. Continuing that logic, if she has that much break built in, wouldn't we be able to use her naked? Or at least from a break gear perspective, metaphorically, of course. And in that case, why not give her some stuff for damage output while we're at it? And hold on, rewinding a bit. That passive sounds a bit like another big shot with auto crit skill 2 on blue panels, who you may have last seen beating everything. Auto crit in general just slaps. Putting that all together, it's breaker DPS time again, baby. There's sadly not a lot of gear with base effects that benefit breaker damage output, so I'm just borrowing Val's clothes and stuff, even if it fits a bit loosely. Now let's go hammer stuff. And Boss Soph will supply the panel / Ryza the debuffs, and then the usual fizz buffers, suited up with the buff B gear that I have for no good reason. The auto is on and we'll just let it roll. Having seen how the single target breakers fared, it should be no surprise Ryza barely scratches the break with her AoE. But with the arsenal available to slash breakers, she stacks quite a bit of slash resistance down to go with her damage up. There's something familiar about this setup, wonder what it could be. Izana doesn't have quite as many self-buffs, so she does benefit from more buff items here. And boom. Or not quite, sadly. It's closer than it looks here, but I couldn't quite one-shot the boss with this team. So this run is with adjustments already made to shift damage into the following hit, after the boss heals a bit. And here's that unconditional force break that will never not be broken. And this time we got him. GG. So this is all the gear with the Breaker Buffs trait. Pretty annoying to need a parallel set for this. Also, my unlocked Lisu Masterpiece Memoria won't work for Breakers. This is one case where the Izana Fish one would have been a better choice. The gear is a bit cobbled together and incomplete. M-Pull not really needing buff B since he doesn't boost skill damage, only attack stat. Strength meat and more debuffs would have been better for the first hit, but this is the item loadout for the 2-hit version. And that's our DPS Breaker Cat setup. In case you missed it, it's like the Fizz version of the Academy setup. While there's no inherent advantage to using Fizz these days, with Magic having better debuffers and even an M attack buffer now with June Heidi, this is the best option on the physical side for AoE skill 2s, the main alternate being Mu. And I happen to have that here too if you want to see what that looks like. Spoiler alert, it's disappointing. The main issue continues to be the cost of securing a consistent crit source. Blue Jelly has been a blessing for most cases, but fails when you need a follow-up hit, as is the case here, or if you need to step onto a burst panel. For character sources, Snow Rerona is decent, but won't auto-target correctly with M-Pull, Logi can't break anymore, and El Resna and 27 Mary take too long to ramp. And the only crit rate gear takes up your weapon slot and only works for the first hit of each wave. So anyone with guaranteed crit is premium, whether they're nominally an attacker or not. And right on cue, Mew misses half her crits, even though this run is already one I re-rolled just to get a kill on the boss. The rest of the fight is a scrappy mess of trying to finish off the holdovers, but I wasn't about to do it again, so like I was saying, guaranteed crit, premium. But that's not the reason you'll roll for Cat anyway. The true reason aside, there's actually a whole other cool setup you can do with her, but that'll be the next video. Anyway, adopt your own cat now. And there's still one left, so you get to see a bit more flailing, taking bets on who actually kills it. And it's M-Pull in with the snipe. Rip Mew. What were we doing here again? At least we saw everyone's bursts. It's like a compilation. TLDR, Breakers bad, crit good. Izana crit good. Thanks for watching.